How you guys doing? My name is EarlAlex, and we're here on another episode of SongLab Live. And you know how it goes. But if you don't, let me let you know. What I do is I introduce you to new artists that you need to get to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift it over to the other side of the table so you can get to know the guest who we have here today. I know him. He's a great guy, great dude just to know him in my personal life, but also very talented when it comes to this music thing. Now, who do I have with me here today?
Greetings, it's Marvelo Hathaway, singer, songwriter, artist, man of God, father, son. Just getting an opportunity to reintroduce myself.
And how can people get in touch with you? Shout out your social medias and how they can find your music.
Instagram, Facebook, Marvelo Hathaway, Marvelo Hathaway through Gmail, Twitter, everything. All the socials is Marvelo Hathaway. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Luckily.
Nice. I mean, speaking of that, I mean, Marvelo, that's for sure you. I mean, Hathaway, that has a vintage, feel to me. That's kind of nostalgic to me. I know of that name Hathaway. How did that? Where did that part come from? How did those two things come together? Where you get your name from? I mean, it feels like a mesh of familiar and newness.
Well, there's a definitely a deeper story to it, but I pretty much used and am taking the likeness into the late and great Marvin Gaye and of course Donny Hathaway. My relationship to them is not through blood, but it is very much through circumstance. There's a few things that are very significant with both of these gentlemen that I choose to utilize. They both had untimely passings, and that's not my focus. But my focus is the body of work that they were able to have, and if you could appropriate who they were at that time to 2023, I feel that I embody that. So,
I mean, 100%. When I see you do your thing, your talent is authentic, and so I 100% get the marvelous. And then the way that you come off very soulful, the way you put your heart into it. So that's where the Hathaway hits for me. I mean, that's right. You know what I mean? Right. So I feel that blend. Yeah. When I'm listening to your music and listening to your art. And in fact, how did you get your start? Singing and talk a little bit about your journey through music and how it's been for you. Go ahead and give people a little overview.
Well, it's a long overview. I have some age on me, but luckily, I started in church. I played drums for, I don't know how many years. I think I started when I was around 12 years old. My father was a pastor at the time, and I was really into music. I could sing, but I love music more. So I started to play the drums, and that led me to, maybe 15, 16, singing in church for the first time, and kind of feeling, the atmosphere of performing. And it was something, even though it was in church, from that point on, I kind of felt a certain way about standing with the mic in my hand. And moving forward, I knew it skipped a few years because I couldn't sing outside of church, being that I was a pastor's son. But once I was given that opportunity, I might have done something in high school, sung with a couple of guys. But it wasn't until maybe, mid-20s or early 20s that I really got into it, started writing, singing. From that point, bumped into a few people got into excuse me, an R&B group that was called Heat, and that's a story within itself. But you know, that led me to where we are, giving me the platform from years ago, and that's what I want to make clear. Like, I am a new artist, because you start all over. But 20 years ago, I did this, and I did this at a very high, very fast level. I was blessed to see a lot of things, and I know the business didn't change. You know, honestly, I mean, there's a lot of different attributes to it, but in regards to knowing who you need to know, and moving forward with it progressively in any format, in any way you want to go with it. And that's a whole nother story. Your personality, your music, it means something. And that's all that I'm really here to demonstrate. You know, there's no field of work that I'm trying to put myself in. No competition. You know, I couldn't tell you a lot of artists that are in the city right now, other than what I've heard. I don't really know the body of their work, but I've heard names. You know, but we're all just doing what we need to do, and what I need to do right now, and why I'm going to take what I need to do into the actual music businesses. I feel that I have a story that's worth telling. You know, the skill is one thing, the story is another. But if it's worth telling, if it's worth sacrificing, you know, having you here right now, turning these lights on, you know, I would just say, all right, you know, we can just hang out and just do what we did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A couple months ago, when we were just hanging out how we normally do. But now there's electricity, there's money, there's things involved.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's necessary to just put myself on that platform once again, and just see what happens.
100%. And I see you doing that, and I see you intermingling with artists that are also moving and have traction as you're rebranding yourself, as you're putting yourself out there. Like you were saying, you were part of a group back then. He got your start in church, but you're coming out as a new artist now. Like, what marks the difference from the things that you were doing then to what you're doing now? Because I see you are working with a lot of artists that are gaining traction. Like, you were on
it's a couple of artists, actually.
yeah, there's you're on Tater Crowns.
Yeah.
Some new music that he has just released, but also
I think we're talking about Rico.
Yeah, Rico Band's new album that he was released. You're on the last track there. So I've been watching and I've been listening, and it's been good. But what is the difference now between now and then? You're saying it was fast paced.
I would like to say consistency. Let's be honest. Anyone that knows me, I know a lot of these artists outside of the music, and a lot of times you'd be surprised to be like, oh, okay, I didn't even know he really knew it. But we've met and we've had relationships in regards to like communicating, talking on the phone outside of music. So that kind of builds it for, you know, out of all the artists that I know, very few I've actually done music with, but the relationships. So all of these are just good men.
Yeah.
And the difference is consistency. Anybody that knows that you're gonna bump into, if anything were to come of this, is gonna tell you, you know, man, he's inconsistent. He's not like a, you know. And I'm just being honest. I'm Mr. Inconsistent, and I deserve that title because talent versus, you know, using it. So the difference is just using it, you know, and then the gift, and then the platform. You know, I'm not, like I said, like, yeah, I rap a little bit, but I sing, but I'm into many genres of music.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not even gonna jump into anything specific, but just I'm cool with everybody, you know, for the most part. And if I don't know them yet, I'll probably end up being cool with them when I meet them, you know, unless there's a real situation, and it's never like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't This isn't what we're going to use as competition. It's not what I've ever used, and I think that's why there's been, you know, the Ricos or the Cheddar Boys or the Tater Crowns or BC Benco's or Willie North Pole. You know what I mean? There's been enough of them, as spread out as that is, you know, as far as the type of artists that they are. It's just a cool friendship and us seeing eye to eye on what we need to make it worthwhile, to make the artistry worthwhile.
I mean, it sounds like there's a connection outside of the music that just lends to there being music.
Yeah.
You know, and almost like as if there is a underlying family dynamic. You know, people are connected through, you know, proximity. We're kind of, we're all in the same state, but we're all working to showcase our talent. We're all creative individuals. And when creative individuals get together, we create.
Right.
And these are solid individuals you named.
Right.
You named, you know, Willie, Rico, Tay. You named a lot of folks that people would love to have music with. And you have that opportunity. And now, well, not only have you already been releasing music, you know, under Heat and some of your own, you know, there's music videos that you know, I was in one of them, I'm just going to say, that you've released. That is good music, but you're gearing up and you're preparing for a new campaign, a new run.
Right.
How has it been, you know, coming back? Has it been just everybody's like, all right, it's about time? They're like, look, we knew it was a little inconsistent then, but it's about time. Let's go ahead and get going. And in that, what do you have that you're working on now that you're looking at presenting?
I could say one thing that I think the most important thing is that I've always had something in regards to music that was ready. But when everyone, you asked me a question earlier, and it kind of opened me up to I guess the landscape of where things are. Everything is just starting all over, man. You know?
Yeah.
Everything is starting all over. I don't really have a perfect answer. I don't even have an answer other than I do have some music. You know, I do have...
Oh, there's some stuff brewing.
I do have some songs that, you know, I would like to allow everyone to get the opportunity to hear. And that's all that I am, is just someone that's just trying to do that. There is no brand behind it. You know, there's plans, but there's no brand. And I want to make that clear because I just want to show where it's coming from. The story is I went through about 10 years of a lot of situations. So that's bringing back around to what you just asked. You know, what's caused the inconsistency? You know, I have a story that I like to tell about some things that have gotten my way for the past 10 years that's made it to where right now I'm even presenting myself at this point from the very beginning.
Well,
you know?
I mean, most people only look at the tip of the iceberg, but they don't see the large mass underneath the water that's holding it up.
Right.
And most careers are that way as well, especially when it comes to music. You know, they see, oh, he's gaining traction now, but they don't see all the long years of hard work that it took before to get there.
Right.
And fortunately, being your friend, I've been able to see you work your way, each way, beating level after level, and each thing that has kind of came your way to come back to the creative point where you want to be with your artistry.
Right, right.
And so I think that's wonderful to see, but explain a little bit on now actually, you know, getting through those things. And also, you weren't just doing music. I want to say you were doing music, but then you're also prominent in sports too. You were doing sports as well. And how has that, you know, expressing yourself there, and how has that drive also aided your music?
Well, the sports side was mainly like, high school, semi-pro, and, being friends with a couple of people that were in the NFL, which is what made it accessible for me to try out and get these opportunities to just, once again, build personality. So after a while, it just made itself open for me. And there's no difference really between the sports and music industry in regards to your personality.
Yeah.
You can be a great artist, you can be a great athlete, but if you're not good to work with, if you're not just a good person in general, once your career is done, there's nothing pretty much left of you. These artists and these athletes that we're seeing that are doing work years after their prominence was built off of personality. You know what I mean? It was built off how good of a person that, they really were. So I pride myself in just studying that, and just ultimately just being that type of person. You know a lot of people out here.
I know people.
And one of the reasons that you do is because your presentation is just who you are up front. You have you at a point right now where you can kind of be who you want to be. You put in a lot of work. You've done what's necessary. So, but you keep it thorough and you keep it honest. And from the first time that you meet someone, you start at that level, and you build your way up.
That's the way to do it.
And you give a person plenty of opportunity to either show themselves, to you, or just
back away.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to deal with it right now. We're in Arizona, understandably so. We're still trying to put our dent in something. And that's what I've seen, since I was doing it. Since 2001, it's been the same attempt, in comparison to certain cities that didn't have the look that they had at that time. And then now they're kind of like another mecca for music. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. And I think that's the best approach, is to just be more authentic with the people that you meet, and also with your own creativity. But, if you're I always say, if you're real with yourself first, then you can be real with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're authentic to yourself, then you can be real with what your needs are to everyone else.
Right.
Things can get met without, unrealistic expectations. Then people are left, with, not feeling like their needs are getting met, versus you're presenting something that you can't live up to, or is not congruent to who you truly are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's big. I see you do that as well. That's why so many people in the game. Really, I got started on your music video set. I was a young little man, and he invited me out. And that's awesome. How my career literally, honestly started.
Yes, that was a while ago. Yeah.
A long while ago.
What's it gonna be? I remember that.
And that's actually what I love about music, is it has allowed me to collaborate with many artists, many creators, mm-hmm. and build relationships. Music, I heard, weed helps people to make the most amount of friends. I think music tops weed.
Personally. Definitely.
Because it doesn't matter if you do a drug or not. Music right there kind of resonates with everyone.
Yeah. And long before you even were able to get into whatever you're thinking, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a drug, but you knew music. You might have been a little baby, and you heard music. That's you heard that way before you were able to try a drug.
Yeah, you're cooing, trying to make that same sound, and it's like resonating with you for real.
Yeah,
and I think that's important for us to know. Like, so be yourself, and you can collaborate more. And when you collaborate more, you're gonna have more opportunities. That is presented you opportunities to work with, high level musicians or, music or, rap artists or whatever you want to call them. I call them definitely, they create good music. So high level artists and creatives in the game. Also, with just who you are and your personality, you've been able to connect with people in sports, and that's helped you to kind of gain, and know the team player aspect of things, how to connect with folks, how to, work together on different levels and put people on different levels in your mind. I've seen you do that, have to navigate relationships.
Right.
And so that's a big part of collaborating, and also education. That's what SongLab is about, collaboration and education. While you do your thing, you're also able to teach. You've been in the studio with me and you've shown me how to work in the booth and outside of the booth, and I've gleaned from that. So that's been awesome. How has it been for you collaborating with these different artists, and what does it take to collaborate with new artists? Like now that you're coming back and about to be releasing new music, what would it take for, like, say, a new artist in Arizona to connect with you, in Arizona or outside Arizona, to connect with you and work with you on some music?
Okay, I think there were two big questions. The second one, new artists. I have no better advice than just saying be original, be yourself, and hold on to that with one hand. But within the other hand, you need to definitely just understand how the music industry works. And once you understand how the music industry works, you can find how to work around that, because that's what we're trying to do as artists. Now, there's a difference between artists and just people that do music.
Yeah.
They get involved in the industry and they put out a certain brand of music, and that brand of music gains a wave of popularity, and it can create a culture within itself. And understandably so. But artists are people that are, going against the grain, and they're finding different ways to promote their music, and they're making their headways, and they're doing everything they need to do without committing themselves wholeheartedly to a bigger body just for the sake of, that's what I consider an artist to be. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting a machine around you. And it's funny because the same conversation that I could have had 20 years ago with someone about this, I'm having right now.
Yeah.
There really isn't a difference. I mean, there's instead of the Big 12, now there's the Big 5, and it's probably at a 3 right now, in regards to major factions that are signing, that have people underneath them that bleed on down. But to a new artist, you got to understand that. Just like I would tell an athlete, you're going to have to invest a lot more. I would have never thought that there was going to be a way for me to promote myself while I was in high school as an individual, but now it's like, you're a fool if you don't have a huddle page. You're a fool if you don't have your own Instagram and you're working on your catches outside. I mean, my own son has one. He's 10 years old. And you need to have that now. And I never would have thought until you step into these 5-on-5, 7-on-7 tournaments where there's 6U, 8U, all the way up to high school. And these guys and girls right now are playing football at a high level, and they're getting signed off. They're getting letters of intent from one-handed catches in their backyard, and you just have to understand this is what it is right now. So music industry is nothing different. Yeah.
It's like the Justin Bieber effect. Like, he was found on YouTube, right? And then signed by Usher, right?
Right.
And then Usher trained him. And it's kind of the same thing, Soulja Boy, Justin Bieber type thing now. Like, that's the way now. You got to kind of have your own wave, your own following. And that also shows that you're putting in the work, that you care about your craft,
Right.
And so what I'm getting from you is, like, if you're a new artist and you're doing your thing and you're out here working, then heck yeah, contact. You guys can find a way to make some music happen.
Right.
And how has it been, you know, working with artists out here in Arizona? Is it any different than back? Is it only?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a while. Oh, with the exception of my man. Oh yeah, I guess there have been a few, but these artists that I've worked with, like yourself, are built off years of friendship, long before we even considered getting into a studio. There's not anyone that's brand new or this a business contact happened and then all of a sudden I'm just working with them. I've probably known them for a while. I've been such in my bag and only been around people that have been in their bag that I haven't even promoted myself like that. And I mean, that's gonna come, you know. I mean, there's not people that I don't bump into. Hey, I want to get you on a song. That's not business. So if that's the fact that practically everybody on my page, I can say has said that. But you know, in reality, no music has been made outside of the friendships that have already been right there before. But yeah, once again, new artists just understand the business, be true to yourself, get to know the people and get to know the framework of how you want to run your thing. If you want to run it like a label and you're really only focused on your music side, then get all the people in play. But if you want to branch off into, you know, the website, streaming side, you know, then have somebody that's educated in those fields. But definitely don't want to commit to. There's people that are, and these kids are getting bags off whatever. I mean, I can't even just start naming names. I guess from a Kai Sanat on down. I think I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, the Kai Sanat. Yeah. My son watches him too. I don't know him like that.
Him on down. Okay, and then for football, I guess it would be like Destroying or AJ Green on down. You know, if you understand how there's friends of theirs that aren't just sitting around. Yeah, they look like they are, but they're actually
making money.
Yeah, you know, and they're serious about it, and they're not just there when a check is being cut or a drink is being poured or something like that. No, these people actually are. So that's what you need. You know, these people are who you need around, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm not mad at anybody. I can't sit here and act old and be upset with how anybody is moving. There's so many different ways. So for me to sit here and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it based off this," is ridiculous. You know, I have some pieces of music that I would like everyone to hear and see, and I have some illustrations behind it that are gonna make it clear that this is what I'm focusing on, and hopefully people can, you know,
get with that.
Understand that. I think they will.
I think they will. Shit. If I go by your history and your track record of what you put out, what you release, you put time, effort, and good quality to it. So I already know that's going to turn into something.
Definitely.
Hey, man, can I get you to, real quick, for the new artists that are coming up, that want to have longevity in their career, that maybe also, you know, going through things, looking at, okay, maybe I might have to pull back here, or, you know, reconfigure what my career looks like and then go at it, you know, differently. What advice would you give those artists that are looking to find their footing in the game right now?
There's only one piece of advice that I could give you is learn how to perform your music without your lead track. That's it.
That's big. That's big.
You can do anything from there. I mean, you can perform in here. You can perform at an arena. You can perform in a stadium. You know, once you learn. So from there on, there's many other things. There's, I don't know, breath control. Try doing your song on a treadmill. You know, there's things like that, but definitely, and I'm pretty sure a lot of my hardcore rappers would agree.
We all agree.
You know, you're really not respected without the authentic performance.
Yeah.
What you was doing right when you finish writing it. You know, let me hear it like that, minus the 3, 4, 9, 12 overdubs. I don't want to hear that, you know, and I definitely don't want to hear it on your performance. And it's a venue. You're rapping over you, like, that's crazy. You singing, I mean, and I'm not even, I guess I'm just talking like a rapper, like now let me go singer. This is even worse.
Yeah, you singing over you.
Yeah, you singing over you. That's disgusting.
Unless it's the chorus, right? You know what I mean?
Or you have like, you know, some unders, you know, you got some little,
you know, some backups, some backgrounds.
The last words of a couple of lines.
Ad-libs.
But definitely not you singing over you. That's ridiculous.
You know what? I agree on that level. I do understand that, especially with beginning artists or artists that maybe just laid the song and you're just trying to put it out in the club that night. I get it. I understand. So I kind of give that break, but it is high level and you really do care about the craft when you learn your own music,
right?
And you can perform it at any time with or without the beat, and especially without the lead vocal.
I could even say, from a viral standpoint with that, you don't want to be the artist that gets caught up with your sound equipment going bad for a split second.
Yeah.
And you're in front of 35,000 people without your back, you know, you sound like you dying. You know, you don't want that. I mean, how many artists have you know, that was a breaking moment, and if they didn't save that moment by having the next performance where it's just no track, no unders, you know, then they may have salvaged it. But I'm like, way before you even want to consider getting on the stage, you want to consider knowing your music, of course, because that's gonna help, you know. But then being able to perform it as if you were in front of that same 35,000 people, you know, or just that 200, because I know that's tricky. I performed once in front of maybe 25,000, maybe 40,000 or something like that. But 200 people is way more
intimate.
So
it's kind of a little more scary.
Yeah, you see the eyes is looking right at you, and for that reason, you want to know your music. You want to be able to perform it without any hesitation, you know, and be able to set the tone for who you are as an artist, not as a performer, because that's when it happens. You know, you get showed up. Oh, he's not an artist. He's just a performer. If the other voice isn't there for him to Milli Vanilli over, I'm showing my age right there.
When you're performing your music, it shouldn't feel like a cover. It should feel original and authentic to you and what you're trying to put out when you made the song.
No karaoke.
Yeah, no karaoke.
Yeah.
But hey, man, thank you very much for joining us here at SongLab Live. Can I get you to again introduce yourself to the people? Let them know who you are. Let them know how they can find you. And at the end, if you may, just let people know about how you feel coming here and sitting with me, EarlAlex, and SongLab Live today.
Marvelo Hathaway, on all your social media outlets, I guess. SongLab Live is something that's been in the works for a while. And before any other artist that got to sit here in these seats, I got to hear my little bros, Earl and Ruben, talk about what this was coming to be. I have footage. They have footage of me from previous interviews from previous places. I did an interview at Fleet House.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm just showing you how
100%.
entrenched I am into understanding this idea. So it's like, it's not surprising. It's like going to little bro crib for a minute and being like, okay, because Mama raised us right. We was gonna have some clean cribs, gonna have some fly stuff. So that's how it is. So I see that. I'm happy. And you are a fool if this is a portion of your role, you know, whether it's just you want to be heard or this is your promo tour. Make this a leg. Yeah. Make SongLab Live, you know, make all of these, make him a part of your stretch. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Like 100%. Thank you for that. I feel that, you know, honestly, thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. EarlAlex rocking with Marvelo Hathaway. Today you heard it on SongLab Live. Check them out. You already know we're going to be back with more. Go ahead, let the people know, man. Any shout-outs before we go? Any shout-outs?
Jeez.
Go ahead. I mean, it's the time they may catch this. We might edit this out. Go ahead.
Naomi, TJ, Camila.
Yes.
Sheesh. All of my family. I got seven beautiful ones. I can name everybody. I know we ain't got a lot of time. But all of my family.
Yes.
You know, Destiny and Jeremiah, RJ, Talia, Tierra, Mila, TJ, Naomi. My family, Chicago, Phoenix. I'm not a part of a family or a gang or a musical thing or nothing like that. So it's Marvelo Hathaway. Shout out to my man Daylin, Neo, Tater Crown, K-Boog, Big Baby.
Yes.
The list goes on and on. Heat, Sino, Perry, family. I love y'all.
Yes, sir.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. We out. Peace. Yo. Hey, thank you for tuning in and watching what we had to offer. Continue to look at what we have by following us on all the social medias and subscribing to our channels. YouTube, TikTok, everywhere you can find us. SongLab Live.